Serral here, representing BASILISK, Science's esports team. If you want to see more videos like this one, subscribe to BASILISK YouTube channel. Also be sure to leave feedback and ideas in the comments. Okay guys, this is the fourth match in the 2025 World Championship. I'm playing against Kur, or however you say his name. It's one of the harder ones for me to say, but either way. A CVT again. My first match was against Hero Marine, and this is the second time I'm facing their run in this tournament. It's a best of seven series. So it's gonna be a longer one, but yeah, CVT is usually pretty one-dimensional for the most part. It's not the most complicated matchup, but obviously this is the first map, Ultra Love, and this was his map pick, and it was quite obvious to me that it was most likely just gonna 8 tracks here. Because that's what he usually does on most maps, or at least during this time he did, and especially on this map he basically always did that. So that was the expectation coming to this map, and the whole series as well. For the most part, that was gonna see a lot of that strategy. How he was gonna get to that point, it's always impossible to predict, but yeah, I just need to play properly. And yeah, I actually already am mixing up my expansion pattern here. This was one of the thoughts I had coming into this map, just because, like I said, I knew he was gonna 8-track me. I wanted to expect in a line setup instead of going for the middle base, just because when he takes his middle base, it's very easy to push this middle base with a strong setup. So I decided to go for the line expansion setup, which is, I would say, worse usually, but in this specific scenario against this specific build, it's quite decent actually. Made link speed, unlike against Hero Marine. I skipped link speed both games. I went straight roaches, but my idea was to still go roaches, but I didn't want to skip link speed because it would be too obvious it was a roaches. So I wanted to make it a little bit different, make the opening look a little bit different with the link speed, and make him guess a little bit if I'm going roaches or not, or what I'm gonna go exactly for here. So it's not so easy for him to play. Getting some information there on the third CC as well, which is pretty nice, or always. Wizard Road Sword is pretty late here, and my Queen count is pretty limited when I'm playing a build like this, but it's fine. His Hellions are usually quite they are not very active. He's not very active with his Hellions, so even though I have very little Queens, I figured out my creep's gonna be still quite good here. And yeah, there we see already the first things. Could have been a leap, but there we see the Banshee, and obviously he lifted since the Starbot was already out of the tech lab. You know, there's not gonna be cloak at this point, so we don't have to respect this Banshee at all. Especially now that I got some damage on it already, like one Queen's just gonna hold it fine, so I can just eco up pretty hard here. No sports. I started making that one, but I assume I cancelled it there. And yeah, I'm just a good position for me so far. Obviously nothing has happened. He only made 6 Hellions as well, so it's just a little bit of a whatever. His upgrades are very fast, even for the upgrades before the Steam pack, so it's a little bit of an uncommon build. Kinda just rushing that 2-2 here, and getting a strong timing going. But yeah, this is kind of what I was prepared for exactly. So I'm basically just expanding away from him to the edges and going for the similar kind of setup I had against Hero Marine in the previous or the first CVT I played with the Roaches fast hive and just try to get those Vipers out as soon as possible. They could have been a bit faster, the hive's a bit later maybe than it could be, but it's still a good timing on it. And I'm also not making that many workers. Just because I kind of think that all I have to do is to defend if I'm already on hive tech. Not sure. Yeah, we already got the Atrax Scout as well. So that's a good confirmation, even though I had, obviously, I was assuming this. It's still nice to get the confirmation there that he's actually doing it. So in case he wouldn't be doing it, I could actually make like 8 more drones or something. But yeah, here I'm just basically everything's going as I planned here. My expansion setup's pretty good already for this. Obviously, I'm still taking this middle base here later, but if he pushes just to deny my 5th base with this Atrax, it's not that great. So he kind of wants to attack something that's more makes me feel a little bit more of a rush. Because if he just pushes the 5th base here, it's like I don't even care about that base honestly. If I'm getting a 3 base all in, I can win on 4 bases if I have hive already done. Obviously, if I was layer teching only, then maybe that 5th base would be more necessary. But yeah, just making units. Never made any more drones here, and stayed on a relatively low drone count, 78 only. And yeah, he has a good timing here. 2-2 already done. This was kind of what he was planning for. Instantly setting up a counter attack, and he actually lets me in. And to be honest, at this point, it's a very hard game for him. I feel like already. I have Vipers ready for the push, and the moment this 2-2 finishes, like, he basically has 0 leads in this game. Now the only thing he has going for him is the fact that he has the upgrade lead. 2-2 against 1-1. That's a good trade for him, I suppose, but yeah, I just keep putting counter pressure, and like I said, this base is not that important for me, but I think with the Vipers having 4 blinding clouds at this point, I can just push here as well. It's not the best fight again necessarily, but with blinding clouds coming in, you just get all the tanks. You don't necessarily always want to come, like I came from one angle there, which is quite bad often, but if the tank line is this deep, for example, let's say there would be 1 more tank here and I come from every angle, it actually might bite you pretty hard back. And sometimes when you have these Vipers out, it's just better to come from one side and just blinding cloud like the first 4 tanks and kill them and then go back. And that's what I did here. Still could have been better fight for sure. I could have had my army like concave around this area, because now I came from this area only, but it's a bit risky to come from here for sure. But obviously if you just want to absolutely destroy the fight and you have no intention of actually retreating from it at all, then I guess always coming from massive concave is the best. But yeah, I still have 4 blinding clouds here, 2 blinding clouds I mean. So I can still push. As long as I have some blinding clouds, it's always decent fights. But yeah, the bio is actually doing quite well here. Oops, for wrong first person there. But the bio is doing quite well just because he has the upgrade lead. Quite nice upgrade lead there. But I didn't even lose my 5th base. So it's just a fantastic position for me, getting a 6th now. And my 2-2 is finishing, so like I said, he basically has no leads at this point. Like he's gonna have a 3-3 lead for, I don't know, 10 seconds here, but 20 seconds max. But again, it's pretty hard to use a lead that short. You will need to time out the push pretty nicely. Just getting everything here. The only bad thing here is that I have still 7 Roaches and 11 Ravagers, so the moment he maxes out, his army is actually again a lot better than mine, just because these units are complete garbage. But I wouldn't mind myself just getting rid of the 7 roaches at least. I don't. 11 ravagers are not too bad. You can buy tanks and buy whatever, but the 7 roaches are pretty much a waste of supply. Especially since I have no attack upgrades or anything on them, so getting rid of them would be nice. Or actually getting rid of them now, so that's very good. The Ravagers are a little bit more expensive, so you don't really mind if you lose them, but you don't really want to just lose them for free either, so you need to be a bit careful there. We saw he has some mines there, so I sniped one down instantly, and this time I have decided to go for a more of a kill fight. The Vipers are a bit late for sure. Well, everything's coming. Like the Vipers could be a bit forward, so like the tanks are gonna get like 1 extra shot now for sure. But at the same time, it's not a big deal here. Also, he's already transitioned to Widow Mines here, so he's only got 3 tanks, so it's not the biggest of the deals. But yeah, it's a good fight here. This middle section is very hard, as you can see. Like, it should be pretty comfortable here, but it's a little bit hard still, just because the middle section is quite hard on this map, and he's reinforcing very fast. But in a way, it looks kind of scary here a little bit, surprisingly scary. But I think it also helped that he hit the timing, upgrade timing here pretty nicely. Yeah. I think if I should have waited a little bit there, and yeah, just giving. He actually hit the 20-second, 15-second, 20-second timing he had there, which was very well done by him. So it was well done, but it's still a very hard position for him. Obviously, I think he was pretty much done and dusted after the start here. I'm getting my ultras out already. I'm also on 3-3 setup myself now, so it's gonna get just harder and harder. He does kill one of my bases, but just kind of runs out of steam here. And yeah, the Ravagers are also nice, because usually Terran likes to add some lips at some points when they have bit their medevac counts, and you can just buy them. They're actually way better against lips than Hydras are, so they are not bad. Having like 3 or 6 Ravagers is quite nice sometimes, but obviously, like I said, I would never remake them. I would just make Corruptors if I need lip counter after this point. But yeah, he just finishes his 4th base at almost 15-minute mark, so I'm already on 6 mining bases. Well, 7 actually, so it's just very hard for him to get anything done here. And yeah, the game ends there. Game was basically over after I held the first 8 racks timing quite easily, or like when I just took the first fight and he lost the first line of tanks. I think it was a very hard game for him, but yeah, I basically just hard countered his strategy completely, and it was supposed to be fairly easy. There was a little bit of an opportunity here for him, and he got the really good 3-3 timing, just because he was still maxed out with a relatively low worker count, so his army was dangerous, and he had the upgrade lead, so that was well done by him. But pretty easy game for the most part here. Alright, here we are at the second game. Incorporeal is the map, and this is my map pick here. It's one of the better CVT maps. I think taking a 5th base can be sometimes pretty hard on this map, but besides for that, it's pretty comfortable for the most part, and it's also a pretty long map, so that is nice in this matchup. I will end up going for a no link speed approach for an opening this time, like I did against the Hero Marine both games. And I'm just going Roaches here again, because I'm expecting that he's gonna do something aggressive again, honestly. Or Cyclones. He actually did play Cyclones against the Rogue on this map in the same tournament just a day or two before, so that was also something I had in my mind, that maybe some sort of mech could be coming my way. So playing a roach opening made a lot of sense. I don't actually think roach openings are necessarily that great even, but it's just a very safe way to play. Does some good annoyance there, but I finally get my base. Ended up sending the 4 links across, but they are won't have the link speed, and on top of that, they're quite late. I could have sent them a bit sooner, so I end up actually waiting for a Helion move out before I go in with them. There the Helions move out, and I go in. Get a SCV there and try to get scout. I should have instantly sent one link in the main base there, and just kill SCVs with 3, so I would have higher chances to actually get some information there. But yeah, now I don't have anything. Also, my third base got delayed by the SCVs, so my build will look a lot different from the one I played against Hiromari, but obviously the ideas are still the same for the most part. Getting the block there. No workers yet. That was a bit lucky actually. Because against Zero Marine I would already have multiple workers here, but I ended up making a bit faster gases this time, since my base is delayed. And this would be 8 workers that would be already here in some other situations, but I had only 2 workers this time since he delayed my base, and I adjusted my build accordingly. We have seen 6 Helions so far, obviously can't really tell anything. Getting a bit blindsided by a Banshee in my main. It's quite bad. I don't know why there's no Overlord here. That's actually a pretty big mistake. I don't know. It's just basically this one is probably the one. The 4th one. Well, the 3rd or the 4th one should have been here. And then I would have obviously seen that beforehand, and I just pulled this queen here and it's fine. It's actually a pretty dumb mistake. I don't know what happened there. Do not have an Overlord there. Get punished for it, lose 5 workers, but get the Banshee. That's fine. That's completely fine for me. I'm probably again gonna skip all the spores. It technically could be still Cloak, but since I already lost 5 workers, I'm not too happy with it. So I would imagine I'm gonna just make like one Overseer, defensive Overseer. Or maybe not. Maybe I just figured out it's not gonna be Cloak. That's fine as well. Or did I? No, I made one now. It's a bit late for sure if he gave me the second Banshee as well. But yeah, I felt like that would make the most sense for sure. To just make, because like even if one Banshee comes in at this point with Cloak, and he blindsides me here again, like I'm gonna lose probably like 5 more workers, but still better than to have 3 spores in some ways. And obviously there's also a chance he just made that one Banshee like the previous game, so after killing that first one I really didn't want to invest into triple spore, which is extremely expensive. It's very expensive stuff. So, but yeah, you can see setup's basically exactly the same as last game. The only difference is that I went for a faster +1 Carabase this time, which is actually way faster than his. And that's a big part of that, just because I skipped link speed, so I could afford that. And creep is obviously a little bit worse. It's been harder to fight for it. He actually did have a second Banshee as well. I truly don't remember these games, but yeah, that does make sense. That could be the case. And yeah, we got a bit lucky there, since that was basically my only detection home, and it happened to just see it. Or maybe well, we can check if I actually saw it, or was it just lucky. I would imagine it was just lucky, honestly. At this point I could technically make triple spore if I wanted to, but obviously do I want to do that? Probably not. Because I know the Banshee is there. If it's gonna go all the way across here, it's gonna be like 1 minute later, and then it's like I don't know, at that point, he's probably just gonna go back to his base, honestly, at this point. And I end up making one sport in my main, actually, here. Which is reasonable, because that's the base that's gonna be the most far away from my... And I'd save one sport there as well. But I'm not aiming it in that sport. It doesn't really make a difference. Like, the ecos are so good at this point that these sports are not very expensive, and they can actually just be moved here to different drops anyways. So it's a little bit whatever. But yeah, setup's very similar. They exactly same setup for the most part, or the same ideas as last game. Medivacs in my main. This overlord was really late here. That was one of the biggest mistakes in this game for sure. Well, not the biggest one. This game actually will have some pretty big mistakes. But at this point, one queen there. You see a fourth base there. Basically RVFC. Just a pretty standard setup. I'm again just making units. I have 4 more burgers this time. I could make 2 more, so I have the full saturation there. Well, technically, I mean, I could just move there too. This is fully saturated. Oversaturated at this point. But very similar setup. Even though I see the fourth base there, I kinda know Curry's gonna push. He always does a tank push either way. Or usually does. I mean, most people do. That's just the way it gets played usually. If you don't go straight camping style. But yeah, I'm just getting units here. And there we see the push. And again, it's just... I have already 3 Vipers with... This time we have only three Blinding Clouds. But if you have Vipers for these timings, it's just landslide always. Yes, it's a very easy fight. Just get all the tanks Blinding Clouded and yeah. And we smash it again. It's a very good position instantly for me. I ended up going Hydras afterwards. Something I like to do quite often, but it's actually one of the things I'm not sure if it's that good. I think Ultras might be better quite often, but... Yeah, I don't know, I feel like for me, like Hydras usually feel like... Hydra Limpain feels like the ultimate comp for me, to some extent, so... Ultras are kinda crappy. Doing a little bit of a patch up, splitting my army here, like I'm not really keeping a good press split here ever. Actually, let's actually go back, because I was thinking about my unit comp too much. But yeah, let's see here. So my idea here is to kill his fourth base. It's a pretty basic CVT idea. Like the most common one. So he has his army here, so I go in instantly and we get the base. And usually at this point the game's basically over. Like when they lose their fourth base like this, like it's over usually. But as you will see in this game, I will do a pretty poor job of splitting my army. This is partly not necessary even because, I mean, as you don't have enough units, I need basically all of this here to defend this one. Maybe I could have a little bit less. I mean, this army is very tiny, like I don't need very much for that. But I guess the mistake here is just not having a macro hatch. That's kind of, you always need a macro hatch. And you will see I'll start floating some resources. Decent counter attack. All of this is fine, but yeah, I'm getting a little bit split. My focus is getting a little split here. I'm having a hard time having the right amount of units everywhere, and he does a good attack here again. It's not even with 3-3 timing or anything, it's just a 2-2, no 3 treatment on the way actually for him, so it's a very good position. Like I said, the game should have been over after I killed that fort basically. Like I killed the tank push for basically for very easy, and then killed his fort, and then it should be a very hard game. But yeah, I'm just not able to spend my money, especially now that I lost my 5th hatchery. I just have no Lara whatsoever. Maybe missed some inject as well, but just not having that macro hatchery is kind of costing me here big time. And this game that was supposed to be quite easy is actually turning very hard here. It's kind of pulling me apart here because I just don't have enough units to defend everywhere, and I'm on 3 bases at this point. I'm making Hydras not because I think they're good here, but because if I make Ling Bane, it's the only way for me to use my money basically. Because if I make Lings, I'm just gonna be floating even more. And I'm actually down to 2 bases here. I'm just making Mass Hydra here. I don't have enough great upgrades on them, but actually I have +3 Carapace already. So my upgrades are quite good. I have +2 melee, +3 Carapace, and getting some missiles, so it's not too bad. But not having any missiles will make them a bit weaker. Then we see has a 4th base finishing now. It's very late since I killed it. I'm double expanding or triple expanding, I suppose, since I lost all my bases basically. Trying to be a little bit annoying. I'm basically just playing Hydra Infestor here, just because I don't have Larva to play anything Link Bane, and he's basically Mass Marauder here in a way. So let's see what kind of army he has. 20 Marauders, 31 Marines, and it's mine. So Fungal Hydra actually does quite well. Especially after I start getting those missile upgrades and before he gets his 3-3. And I'm obviously going for the lurkers as well. Just trying to keep busy on the left side. It's a hard moment in the game because I'm in big trouble, and usually you wanna always have your army press split in 2 places, but if you start press splitting too much when you're behind, you just kinda die if they push on one side. So you just need to try to get some information on the other side always, and keep your army on one side, and if there's something on the left side, you just go there. And this goes quite well. It's a big army there. I actually don't think I have enough here, but with the Fungals landing nice, it's doable. I actually come here with my whole army, which is a mistake, but no, yeah, I think I just brought potentially a couple of units. No, I don't know what I did there, but that was a weird click. But yeah, at this point I'm again getting back into the game in a way. I'm still in big trouble because I have basically lost everything. I don't think I have any of the lurker upgrades even. My hive is just coming again back online. And yeah, I just don't have eco. The only good thing is that my army is somewhat decent, I guess. It's like an interesting army. It's not really like a usual CVT army. Yeah, if you just get Coaster, it's gonna be a hard game for sure. I don't even have Bailing Nest, which I would like to have in that game, but yeah, I'm just getting good trades on both sides here. My army is very tiny on the right side, but I have Infestors there and the 2 Lurkers, and it's actually quite hard to push into that. I think if I don't have the Infestors, it's very easy for him, but the Infestors do such a good job of making it hard for him. Get Parabombs, just try to use all my abilities here. And Tron count 67 already, which is decent. It's very low, but I'm playing a high-tech army here, so I don't necessarily need that high of a Tron count, since I'm not playing a Link Bane style. I'm more of playing like a Lurker style. I'm basically 10 gases here already after those finished, so that's quite good. The Hydra Infestor is very hard for him to deal with. He would really need Ghost for that. He ended up going for Liberators, which is pretty standard, but obviously the number there instantly for Lips, I believe, was a bit surprising. Nice Fungal on the left side there. I'm still winning the right side fight, but yeah, also I'm winning the left side fight, I mean, quite handily. But even this one with the Queens coming in help goes decently. Even Nidus, I know he's on 5 bases here, so I know I'm still in big trouble here. There's no question about it, but I'm just kind of trusting in the Nidus. Maybe he doing something in the main base, and if I can start pushing across the map, maybe there's something I can get done. Just pushing, I'm getting some good blinding clouds here. And yeah, he pushes through me there. Again, not a bad trade trading-wise, I would imagine, but it's a bad trade considering the game state for sure. I'm just trying to get anything done here. Okay, my army. This army is very bad. It's just Hydra Infestor, but it kind of works against what he has somewhat well, actually. Constantly having Infestors and... yeah, I kind of need to know I need to get something going across the map, so now I just run those 2 lurkers behind his mineral line on his 5th tier, just to be annoying. It forces a movement on the right side. And he gets my base as well. He takes the middle. And then he kind of just rushes down the ramp here. I'm not sure what he was thinking here. He gets a bit excited. I think I think he didn't realize my Hydras were here. Because this army was basically just lurkerling before. But this Hydras came back just in time. And with the parabombs down, I actually get a lunge under the lips. And very nice cleanup here. And now I'm actually thinking I can actually win this game for the first time. But I do think I really need to get a counter punch going instantly here. And with the Nidus landing, I'm actually going for it now as well. I would like to see some pressure on the middle base as well here. Just 1 lurker or something to be annoying. But yeah, just sending it on the left side is quite good here. We get that base down. And... yeah, we can actually trade quite well with my army. My Hydra army just kind of beats his. It's just... as long as I don't run out of abducts, my army actually just kind of beats his army. Even though it's just Hydra Lurker, which is... quite weak of an army usually, because Coast completely beat it, but... no, like, not completely beat it, but... somewhat beat them. I guess nowadays with the Coast extra HP, they do completely beat it. But in this patch, you kinda did a little bit better still. But yeah, even here, Coast still kinda do good, do very strong here. Again, just putting some pressure on the map. And being annoying. There, I like how I left 1 lurker there just to be annoying. Just something he has to deal with. Doesn't necessarily do anything, but yeah, just something he has to deal with. Hidden Infestor there, instantly just out. He didn't have a scan going there, but obviously staying there for any longer might just... doesn't really help me, so getting out instantly is usually a good decision if you're under lip zones for sure. But yeah, the lips just get yoinked every time. I'm actually so many... 4 Vipers, I can yoink a lot of them, and as the supplies show as well, he's kinda just bleeding out here, losing all his bases. And I'm still maxed out. My eco is actually quite decent. It was basically the whole game after I lost the burgers in the earlier stages. I was around this 65 throne count, which is somewhat okay when you play a comp like this. I still don't have a bailingness, so I was basically just all-inning on this Hydra Lurker Viper comp. Which I wouldn't usually do, but obviously since the miss macro at that one point in this game, and I kind of lost the game. I think before that the game was completely won, but not having that macro hatch there cost me heavily, and I just couldn't defend the counter punch after killing his fort. But we managed to climb back in the game. Big part of it's that he didn't make coast; he kind of relied on lips only. But Hydra Viper actually does quite decently here. Like if you have any coast, then it's instantly harder because 1 EMP on my Vipers and I have actually no energy. So then it's hard again. Then Vipers are very unreliable, but obviously if there's no real counter for the Vipers, like his only counter is just having so many lips, I can't abduct all of them. So it's not very reliable. But that's the second game. Alright, here we are in the third game. Map is Pylon. Pylon, it's his pick again. It's a best, like I said, it's a best of 7 series, so a lot of these maps that are quite good for the Ultra race have been played. just the way it works with one of it only. And yeah, obviously Ultra Love and Pylon are quite good for Terran, but Incorporeal was good for Zerg, and I believe the last map is Persphone, which is also a good Zerg map. So the start of the series is just playing these good maps for one guy, but it's just the way these longer series work to some extent, I guess. I guess you could... Sometimes people like to put the better maps later on as well. Alright, my map is Pylon, and this map I didn't want to play Roaches on. I was kind of thinking it's gonna Aatrax again, it's a good map for it. I mean, every map's good for Aatrax, and it's his signature move. So I was kind of thinking that, especially after that game where he basically lost one game. One game in when it went longer. I didn't really think he would do like a normal mind style or anything like that really, and just macro really hard. So Aatrax was 100% in my mind here that he's most likely gonna do that. But I don't think this map's very good for Roaches. It's pretty short, it does make Roaches good, but it has so much wide open area that Rambais and that kind of stuff is very good on this map. And other things, just defending bases is actually a bit harder on with Roaches on this specific map. So I'm gonna obviously defend Aatrax with just a normal Lingbane opening. It's just you need to be very tight with your stuff. I get a really nice back rank scout here. See, it's a Cloak Banshee this time. See the delayed gas. Instead, I know it's a 3cc opening as well. Since 2cc opening would have a faster second gas. So that was a perfect scout. I go for a lair to make an Overseer as always. And actually go for the fast Evo air after a lair. Bit uncommon to play like this. I was doing this quite a lot during this event. It's a bit of an expensive opening, but getting that +1 carapace fast is quite good against Aatrax pushes. So that's the main idea here. Pretty fast with that Spore. It's a bit faster, you don't need it that fast, but the idea here is that I wanna bring this queen out as fast as possible. And yeah, if the Banshee is here and I have 3 queens here, this base is naked, so that's why the Spore was a bit faster. But you can see basically all the other bases are making the Spore good. 10 seconds later, around 5 minutes is the good timing here. He's doing a good job of locking my risk out. I can't check if he actually just made one Banshee and canceled the Cloak. That's something I can't go. Oops. Well, now we saw. Yeah, he did keep going for Cloak, but yeah, I can't know that. So I have to respect the Cloak. But yeah, this opening is pretty expensive. You can see I'm 2 larvae stacking here. I don't have Baling Nest yet. I have only 42 gas, so if I want to make Overseers, I can't even afford a Baling Nest. So it's a pretty tight opening. And my 4th base is also a bit later. I actually made it pretty decent timing, but it's a bit later than without the... The carapace is just very expensive. It's 75 minerals. The Evo at then a Throne 50 minerals and 150 for the carapace. So it's just a very expensive opening, like I mentioned. But I had my idea for it for sure. There's a second Evo Baling Nest coming. I think I should have made the second gas a bit faster for sure. That's usually how I play this. But this time I went straight to 3 gases a bit later. My Baling speed's gonna be quite later. There we see we had a good queen placement here behind here, so he can't sneeze behind here. Basically the only way he can get through me is from this side or between my queen pairs or queen triangles, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, he goes from the bottom, which is the most common one, and I had that one blocked, so with zero effort, I basically deflected the first Cloak Banshee there. My upgrades are quite good. And like I said, I'm pretty much just hard countering Aatrox here. I see a 5th gas there, which is like a beat. Like, okay, I'm thinking, okay, maybe not an Aatrox. It's the infestation beat. Yeah, this is very good against Aatrox. Just rushing Hive, rushing Vipers, just like with the Roach playstyle. If you go Paling Bane and rush Vipers, it's also very good against Aatrox. So that's the idea here. I see a tank there. The Submarines block my scouting. Okay, then I see 10 Hellions. I'm like, whatever. And then I see its mech. Yeah, the mech completely got me off guard here. I didn't expect it on this map, but obviously now I'm going Roaches. I have one Carapace upgrade, which is quite useless, and it's a pretty bad position for me, honestly. It is straight tank mech, which wasn't really common. Usually people played Cyclone mech before. I have only Balings because in case it's Cyclone mech, I kinda need something. If it does like a Hellbat push or something as well, but I guess I saw the tanks. I guess it's just in case it's like a weird Hellbat push. But yeah, it's not a great opening for me. Just because I got blindsided, I hard countered the Aatrox a bit too hard. In my mind, this series was so far everything went as I predicted, so I figured out my predictions can't miss, and yeah, this time it was a bit of a misread, or just not scouting it. I suppose he did a good job. Even just these 2 Marines here kind of blocked me from getting in there with the Overseer. I could have just went in and seen everything, but obviously if it's bio, I will just lose the Overseer for free. So he did a very good job there. I saw that 5th gas quite early, but like I said, it doesn't mean it's mech. If I would have seen 6 gases, then I would have probably some bells would have ringed, but I didn't see 6 gases when I went in with the first link. Trying to set up a little bit of a surround here. There was maybe an opportunity there. It is risky because, especially if he has Blue Flame there, those links will melt. But, and there's also a lot of Hellions. I have gone to 88 drones, which is pretty standard. I think I don't have a Spire. Okay, I don't have a Spire yet. That's a bit weird. I don't know why I don't have a Spire. Okay, now it's coming. You really want to rush Prulords against mech always. Even if you don't plan to go Prulords, you still want to threaten it at least, I suppose. Transition to fully attack upgrades, pretty standard stuff against mech here, and mech is pretty uncommon. I'm pretty good against mech, I think, actually. But yeah, he's just setting up to have a pretty strong timing. I believe he has meant for a pretty fast 4-base setup as well here. I don't know what I meant there. Was it Overseers or Tropperers? Okay, Tropperers. But I saw he was pushing, so I just cancelled them. Should have probably went through with it. It's so cheap, and if I would set up like 6 Tropperers here, could have some good counterplay for sure. Yeah, just instantly going for counter. Counter is actually quite weak against mech because just like couple Hellions completely destroy links. So especially if they are like Hellbat moded. So well, any mod really. But usually you can kinda like push these through. He has 2-2 already. He kinda rushed that, and his tank count is very high here. So, like I said, like I think I could have had Prulords for this time. If this Crater spires faster, like I could have probably had Prulords coming by now. Like I could have like 5 Brutes coming here, and he has 4 Vipers, Vikings, sorry. But I have 9 Queens, so it would be a very easy situation for me. But obviously he has, I'm basically mass crowned with 2 Vipers, and the guy has 19 tanks, so it's gonna be a little bit hard, but obviously at this point I can't really wait for Prulords because it's a little bit, the situation a little bit too urgent for that, or that's how it feels like. Maybe I could have time here, who knows. The problem is if he gets like tanks here and kills this base, then this one falls as well, and then the game kinda just is pretty bad for me. Of course, I'm trying to set some annoyance on the other side. I'm not rushing the fight necessarily here. I mean, Natron's army is really getting better. technically I'm killing constantly Hellbats, so if he does a poor job of reinforcing, for example, leave like 30 supply of reinforcements here, then the situation is getting better for me all the time, because my army is kind of staying the same. But if I'm constantly making this army smaller, then it does improve my situation. It seems like I have actually decided to go now though. The Hellbat count is quite small, and I have a run by going back. I see 2 tanks that are actually following this run by, so I felt like this was a good time to send it. And obviously there's not much you can do here, nothing pretty you can do. You can just put some blinding clouds, try to get as many tanks under them as you can. There's a mistake. Oh, actually both of them have energy. No, this one doesn't. Yeah, I saw that. It's only, I'm missing one blinding. Okay, there's a big mistake there. I know I put the blinding cloud there. There was 4 tanks there. That was a bit weird. Maybe thinking the guy's gonna die. Okay, let's see. Okay, I did some sneaky micro there. Yeah. That's a weird blinding cloud. Well, let's see it again. Like, I'm not sure, like, am I seeing the tanks before I'm doing that? Like, I was doing a little bit too much there. I already sent one guy back to get more energy to my main base. Like this one. No, this one, right? I don't know. Yeah, this one. Because he didn't have enough energy. For some reason, it had only 198 energy, so I was like, nah, man, that's bad. Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess it's just a bit hard. I already had it set up there, and I couldn't transfer. But yeah, the fight goes pretty poorly. If you want just supplies, actually, I think this Rampai did extremely well. So that attack timing actually worked out quite well. The tanks most likely actually didn't end up following. He just kind of sent them to take the fight here. And this Linger Rampai actually killed a lot of workers here. That was very good, but the fight in itself was quite bad. And at this point, I'm for sure in a bit of a trouble. I'm just trying to get the roaches, just everything back. Roaches are really bad. Like, I basically need to make every roach that I make needs to be transferred into Ravager instantly. Like, roaches just kind of suck. So I overmade them for sure a little bit there, as I don't have gas to make them all into Ravagers. But I mean, roaches are still better than lynx, you could think. I mean, nature of I think only Ravagers are really strong here, and Balings are decent against the Hellbats. And actually the roaches are quite good on the counter attack. I think that was a good decision for me to just counter attack with the roaches, since they would be completely useless in the fight. Just one tank bully would kill all my roaches for free, but they will actually do quite nice against the Hellbats there. He has some tanks there already, so he managed to hold it, it looks like, pretty easily. But yeah, I also take a fight here instantly. But the tank line is just so deep. I should have waited for the Viper energy, but I didn't want to lose this base. And actually that little move kinda saved the base in a way. It's probably gonna die still, but yeah, you can see I really want to save this base. Like, I really want to kill the tanks that are close enough to hit my base. Like, that's what I'm doing all the time. I have pretty good biling there. Just being annoying here. And yeah, you can see I just want to save this base, because I feel like if I lose this location, I'm gonna lose that right side base. And if I'm gonna hold this location, I still also hold the base. I think that's what I'm kind of thinking here. But yeah, I mean, technically I could lose the base. I could just transfer all these workers bottom left, but I would still have to hold this base, so I would still kind of have to stay here. So I think that's kind of the idea here. But yeah, without Vipers, these fights are going quite poorly. But even with the Vipers, the fights went quite poorly, just because his tank count's incredibly high. I really needed the Prulers here. That's usually how we play. That's why I said that I should have... The Creator's Bar was a bit late. I think I could have easily had Prulers for this timing. And that's again why it comes down to that. Usually, I also said that usually when these mech pushes happen, you can kind of just A-move it if you didn't make Prulers. But that's with the assumption they attack with the timing that hits before Prulers, because I think this timing was so late that I could have easily had Prulers for it, but my Spire was too late. But if I make the Spire faster, and then he attacks like in a timing that actually would be fast enough to attack before my Prulers. From my experience, usually I can just kill it with maxed out with 2 Vipers quite easily. So I think that it's just, this game has come down to that a little bit. That's why the game became so hard here. My army is quite good against mech. It's just that his army is basically tank Hellbat, so it's quite good against my army as well. I'm constantly setting up counter. Like I mentioned before, this map has a strong counter attack angles, but mech actually has quite easy time. I would say easiest time. Even easier than Bio defending Rambios, just because you're constantly making Hellions, and there's like 4 Hellions. Like basically every 21 seconds he has just units that will kill like 50 links for free, basically. So it's quite easy, but it's still good. I'm not like, I think I did like couple high commitments, but like most of this is just like 10 links, so it's very low commitment, and I'm just again looking for reaction really. I'm getting some damage. I think all of these links always trade positively, so it's very strong. But I think like sending 50 links there would be probably pretty bad, especially in this situation. We get the blinding clouds. We actually always need to be very careful. Like I actually did a good job. He doesn't have this watchtower, so I managed to sneak my Vipers on the right side, because he has the left side covered with the Vikings and the right side. So if I come from the front, I'm not gonna get some nice blinding clouds, but here with the different angle, I actually managed to get some nasty blinding clouds there. It's good stuff here. Okay, blinding clouds make a lot of sense this time. Only bad thing is that I don't have enough energy to do anymore, but as you can see, this one has only 19 energy, so again, it's a sense of urgency here. Like I could have gotten more energy, but then this fight would have been a bit later. But now I have lost the base as well, so technically maybe it could have been later. But then again, like I basically blinding cloud every tank, so it's quite good. But if you think about it, like if I have more blinding clouds, I can put a new blinding cloud here again. I don't think I should blinding cloud these tanks, for example. I should choose like a re-blinding cloud this again, because blinding cloud is very short. Doesn't last very long. And yeah, just now we actually clean up the position, retake the bases, and yeah, the game feels very doable at this point. It's always still hard. I just need to keep making Ravagers here. At this point, the Prular switch is actually a bit harder already, because we are only at 6 queens instead of the 9. 6 is still a good number. I think I should be looking for a Prular switcher. It's just not necessarily like an insane high Prular switch, but just like even 4 Prulars. Yeah, since he has 9 Vikings and I have 6 queens, it's my anti-air is very limited, so it's not an easy decision to make here. And also you can clearly see that I wanted to instantly push this rich gas base here, so that also makes sense that I didn't make Prulars, because then I would play a bit more passively. Now that I set I'm going a little bit back. It maybe would make sense to make Prulars here. Yeah, I'm just setting up a drop instead. I basically kept this rampai angle the whole game, and I was just killing 2 tanks there, but those links is quite good for me, so that's a very good rampai. Like, it's not big damage, but it's still good. Okay, we see his armies there. I'm being a bit annoying with one Ravager there. And I think, personally, I just think, since I lost a lot of queens, I mean, the thing is, I don't remember what I was exactly thinking, but to me it looks like I think there's just too many Vikings right now, and I have too little anti-air to do a Prular switch. But even these 6 queens and 3 Vipers, I think, are good enough anti-air for just Vikings. Yeah, there you can see how bad the Ling Rambais are if there's just Hellions ready for it. That's obviously more than 4 Hellions, but I think the 4 Hellions will basically have the exact same effect, so he kind of gets me off guard with the full send there by the looks of things, and yeah, the base is instantly lost. It looks pretty hard here again. I did get the left side base again, and that's being pretty annoying. Gets an easy defense there. I think he saw it with something most likely. Keeps moving forward. I get some valuables there. And at this point latest, like, I should be looking at the Ruler switch for sure. I know I eventually do a Ruler switch, I don't remember when it is. It's always hard because, like, you kinda... Ruler switch takes a while, like... Okay, now you can say 5 Corruptors, so now I'm going for it, but... It's a long switch. And it takes the Corruptor build time and then the Ruler build time, so we are talking... 29 plus 24, so... 53 frag, so we're closing up to minute on the switch, so, and it's heavy supply. It's also very heavy and supply 1 Rulers 4 supply, so even 5 Rulers is 20 supply that's just inactive for 1 minute, so you really need to find the right timing for those switches always, but since he stayed on this mass tank comp for the whole game basically, I should have done that sooner, I would say, and obviously, like I said, I should have had it for the first push already, but since I didn't have the Spire there, I think I did quite well, but later stages should have went for the Ruler. It's a bit faster, being a bit annoying. We've done a quite good job of Link harassing all the time. I think he hasn't really been Hellion run buying enough here, for example. Like, I think like this base, for example, has nearly half mind already with 1 spine only. Like, you could actually run 6 Helios there and kill all my workers, and this game might have just ended right there at any moment. But he never did that really. We see a push on the left side. So idea here quite simply is just to see the push on the left side. I will most likely get my 4 queens here, 3 vipers here, and 2 rulers here, and actually you can defend this army now with this fairly small squad. Even if he has some Vikings there, it's gonna be fine. And try to defend this base with the Ravager, but again, I'm just getting some valuables for the most part. It actually, the moment the tanks get close, are shooting range, yeah. It's again like the tanks just kill everything instantly. If with couple blinding lights, I can doable. Like, his tanks are pretty stacked, but I had them on the right side in case he left some Vikings there. So I can abduct them into the queens. And yeah, it's a pretty exciting game, honestly. Ruler switching left side, and yeah, I'm just getting more Rulers at this point. More Ravagers, more Rulers. I'm very high on gas, but low on mineral income, so I'm just getting high-tech units there. Losing... Only being 150 max supply is quite bad for me. But it's also 18 minutes in the game and he's still on 4 bases. He has this base, but he's not actively mining from it, so... It's, he's actually kind of broke as well here. Obviously at this point, well, even before the sensor were finished, it's kind of predictable that with this push he probably took this base as well. But, yeah. At this point, I actually think my army is getting quite decent, just because he doesn't really have anything for the Rulers besides for 6 Vikings, and I have only 4 Queens at this point, so the count has gone even lower, but yeah, I can just keep transfusing my Rulers, and the Viper Queen will actually get rid of the Vikings quite nicely. So also Thor now. Thor is instantly more dangerous. The Vikings are very manageable, but Thors are less manageable for sure. But he doesn't have many, I think there's only 1 there. Especially since I have only +2 on my air, or +1 right now and +2 coming. And he has 3/3 on his mech unit, so it's gonna be very hard. Yeah, it seems like I started playing on the left side now a little bit. Because I have 2 of my most mining bases there, so I moved actually like the army that can hold him off on that side. And I had a little bit more of an active army on the right side. And it works out splendidly since he's actually here with his most of his army, so this is very good. Get the blinding Bar bomb there. I could transfuse the Viper here or only the Pruners. That's always a hard decision which one to go for. Okay, we get an information on that army. Really good run by second there. And yeah, at this point I think I have an opportunity, especially if the Infestors just popping out. If I get a Blinding Cloud plus Fungal combo on those Thors, I can actually kind of do quite well against them. The Vikings are a little bit of a problem, but I have Corruptors for them, so it's a very nice cleanup here. Like you can see, the Thors are actually pretty insane against my Brutes. Like they are kind of skilling them. But yeah, the Blinding Light made all the difference there with the Fungal. And yeah, I managed to push him back at this point. I still know he basically has only one mining base, right? It's only that base on the Watchtower on the right side, so. And I'm basically getting all my bases back online on my side. This base is back online, the 3 o'clock base is back online, and yeah, it's going very well. Decided to go for a push here. That's honestly so. Well, I don't know. I just didn't find Blinding Cloud. I don't know what happened there. Maybe went back too early. I was thinking this didn't have energy, but it actually has energy. So I obviously should have Blinding Cloud both tank pairs. But yeah, I didn't. Still not the worst fight ever. I mean, considering the game state, everything's fine, but yeah, there's the first Hellion run by and instantly that's out of damage, so that's what he was missing the whole game. He never run by that all, he kinda just did frontal pushes the whole game. Which is good, but you could still send some units always on the sides. I need to be a little bit careful, his army is quite strong here. Even if the supply is really small, I obviously don't know how little supply he exactly has. And yeah, he has 5 Thors there, and I have only 12 Pruners, so I need to be quite careful here. Obviously, if I get Neurals on the Thors, it's a quite easy fight, but the tanks there as well, like, it's not that easy. But we get all the Vikings there. Obviously, this base can be just given away, knowing that I'm pushing the whole left side completely open here. Why it's so important to have this left side push going here is, well, even if the game is more even, it will let me take actually this base quite easily, since he has lost all the space here, so then I could somewhat even give this base up a little bit and focus on getting this one up and running. But yeah, obviously with these supplies, nothing really matters at this point anymore. You can just crawl through the game, it's just one fight there anymore, he had 2 Thors left. And yeah, quite easy. Well, that was actually a very hard win. But in the end it was, yeah, for the last 4 minutes it was, 3-4 minutes was pretty over for sure. To be honest, after the Pruners finished, I thought it was quite good for me. Alright, this is the last game of the series. On Persphone, like I said already before, pretty good defensive map for the most part, and pretty decently long map, easy fort bases and stuff, so I don't actually quite remember what I went for here. I think I ended up playing Roaches again, but not sure with what opening exactly. Just like in Incorporeal, I kind of felt like there's a high chance he plays Cyclones, I would imagine. Just because Cyclones are actually quite good on these big maps. And yeah, it's also my map pick, so he could be very much possible. And on top of that, he also had a good mech game system. I think he could have won that quite handily with some little adjustments, since he blindsided me with it, so there's a chance that he plays mech again here, just standard mech as well, but yeah. Seems like I'm playing the same opening as I did in the first game with the 7 Queen setup and a 4-minute Rose run. With the link speed. This will let me have a little bit nicer creep for sure. Getting one link there to see in case I get lucky and see what starboard unit he's making. Made a spore in my main this time blindly because I have no clue what he's doing. Honestly, since I have not seen anything, I remember kinda thinking that it could be a Cyclone mech at this point. Just like one fact, skipping starboard. But there we actually see the Liberator, so that's not what's happening. But yeah, you usually kinda need the one spore safe. It's not bad. And if you don't see a lip there, you might even have to make 2 more spores just to be safe against Cloak Banshee or something. But yeah. It's a very similar setup to the first game. Like, it's basically exactly the same. The only difference is I had 2 spores this time. In that game I had no spores. And his 1-1 is actually way later. But I don't even know if it's mech at this point. We see no gases. And yeah, then we confirm it's bio. So, for the most part, it's like very similar setup to the first game. I end up going melee upgrades this time. I don't remember if I went to range in the first game. Doesn't really make a big difference if you open melee or range, to be honest, when you play roaches. But if you go for melee, obviously you are probably making a couple less roaches then. But for the most part, it plays very similar. Using the spores for the main cover for drops, especially important on this map. Could make 1 more spore there for sure. And yeah, 81 drones, relatively low again. Because it's just the same as game 1 and game 2. I'm kinda expecting a push. Like, I'm still thinking it might be an Aatrax even. But yeah, even if it's not an Aatrax, I'm expecting a push. There we see the 4th phase, but yeah, then a tank push comes. This is a lot faster than the previous games. It's pre-Viper. I have Hive already, but it's just finished. So it's pre-Viper timing this time, but I stayed on a relatively low drone count here, so it's no problem. Obviously, Roach Ravager, my comp is very good against pushes like this one. And he actually just goes back instantly. Starts a little bit of a split push here, so this is the most standard game so far, I would say. I'm going for Hydras again. Again, I think Ultras could have been actually better, but yeah, I was kind of liking to play like this during this period of the time. VC has a full push coming here, and I have a big counter attack going, so. And my Vipers are not full on energy, so it's a good time. It actually just he hit like 20 seconds faster. Oops, lost 1 Viper there for free. He hits like the 20 seconds faster, so I actually didn't have my Vipers exactly ready. I could have still had 2 Vipers with one abduct, 1 blinding cloud, and I could have quite easily pushed this army again. It's the same, very similar situation in the first game, second game I mean, on Incorporeal, where if I just had everything to get ready, lose that Viper, and just went for it, I could have easily saved this base and taken a very positive fight. But now he actually got the base kill. I was a little bit worried to take that fight. I think his setup was a bit more scary than on Incorporeal, and then I had this Ling Rambai, which is a lot of links. It's 20 supply here, so it isn't that tempting, but the Rambai does quite well. I don't think I'm gonna fight here, yeah. There's no way I'm gonna take a fight there. I'm just kinda using my Bailings a little bit, trying to get some value with them. If he's not watching while defending the Rambai, but he was watching. Rambai did quite well. I'm double expanding, and I really need a 5th base, because I'm like you just instantly run out of steam if you don't get a 5th base, basically. If it's plays 8 tracks, it's fine, but he's on 4 CC turn, so I basically need to get that 5th base up ASAP. And he comes from this angle. I don't know why people come from this angle. The speed stands are so insanely good for the Banelings that this never goes too well. And my blinding cloud use is pretty poor. I don't know what's happening. Okay, I know energy. I forgot to charge my. Well, I guess they just didn't pop in time. And yeah, obviously it doesn't matter. Like, this was a very good fight. Just that angle is horrific for him. And if I had 2 blinding clouds there, I could have made all the tanks completely useless. So that was like the best case for him, but it was still absolutely horrific. And yeah, actually this ended up becoming a little bit of a problem for me in this game, that I didn't get the 5th base up. I just absolutely couldn't get a 5th base up. And I actually think it's quite hard on this map. I think if I get like 2, I need like 2 spores here. Because this angle is very annoying. He can threaten this base or this base, and threatening a little bit everywhere, so it's making it very hard for me. And yeah, 4 base Zerg is actually quite weak, so he's doing a good job here, actually getting back into it quite nicely. After run by, and the one fight here was quite good for me. But just not getting this 5th up, like now I'm here, but like he has that nasty angle. And I'm also just like a bit, he's kind of pulling me apart a little bit here, like my creep is getting very lackluster. I have only 1 extra queen as well, which is good enough. I could just use this one to get like triple 2 more here, 1 2 more here. But lose my 5th base again. This time I managed to defend this one, but yeah, it's a very late 5th base. It's finishing at 12-minute mark. Drop in the main. No overall vision there. Obviously spores are not gonna help there. He's putting good harass here. My main worry here is that if he comes here with the push, as you can see, I'm gonna just, in a way, like I went to defend this drop, but I instantly realized that if I lose that 5th, it's kinda game over, and that's obviously what he's most likely gonna do. And yeah, there he comes as well. So we get defense here. Those are nice blinding clouds, and yeah, this base we can't give up. But we end up giving it up because we just run out of bailing. So this army was too tiny. And yeah, it's just bad. I didn't get the 5th base up. And yeah, like I said, this map actually is quite good. But you need to get the 5th base up, and I wasn't able to do it here, so he has done quite well. Now they got the Nidus set up again. I'm just trying to get something on the other side of the map to annoy him. Because if I have anything annoying him, then I can have easier time defending my 5th. But yeah, I have a full army movement here, and he actually... Wait, I don't know what's happening here. No, I just ended up giving up this base. I felt like I couldn't defend it, I guess, after I already was here. That's probably what happened here, and took this one. I had the Nidus up in the main as well. But he has two lips for it already, so it's pretty easy. I could technically go here. Maybe get a Nidus here and go here and just keep being annoying. Or then I can run back in one of the Niduses. Maybe leave 1 lurker, so he needs to scan at least. But obviously, if there's any lips, it's kinda held. There's also the idea of just bringing 7 Hydras and the 5 Queens in the Nidus and killing the lips. And that could have been actually quite good in this position. But yeah, I bring actually Ravagers in, so the idea is very similar. And I moved back here, which makes sense. But yeah, this ends up being quite bad for me, considering the situation. I think like if I would have 5 bases mining here for like the past 4 minutes, then that's not bad. But since I actually couldn't secure my 5th base ever in this game, that was actually quite bad for me. But in a more standard game state, I would say that's pretty good. And again, he's managing to abuse this location. I feel like I really need triple spore here. Obviously this map isn't really in the map pool anymore, so it doesn't really make a... Don't have to think about it too much, but... Just having units bottom and top isn't really gonna cut it the whole time. Like this is only duct tape solution. It doesn't actually fix the problem. Because it's just too many units if I have to split them. Because I would also have to have more here, because otherwise you could just push that army down. But yeah, very similar to the second game. I would say I'm not as far behind for sure, but in a lot of the ways it's very similar. He's doing a good job, and I just haven't gotten any creep here. I think just not getting that 5th base ever up made this game very hard. Barely saved that base as well with the lips, which is quite good. I'm just trying to keep expanding. I got my 5th up, but obviously at this point you kind of already need the 6th base as well and everything. And like I said, the games were it's just a very unstandard game. Like I'm again basically just playing Hydra, Lurker, Viper. I think big part of it's because I'm realizing he's not willing to go coasts for some reason, and it's actually a strong comp in that case. But this is not something you would usually do for sure. It's more because the game states very strange here. Just having to play a bit different because of that. I still have a bailing nest and everything, so in case I need to, I can make those bailings as well. But yeah, as you can see, this time actually what I kind of mentioned in the previous game where this happened is that like if he just has enough lips, I actually just don't have, like I have no counter for the lips besides for the abduct, but if I have only 3 abducts, I can only abduct 3 of the units, so he's kind of still pushing through here, just with his bank basically. He has more money, so he can just kind of push through with that, but as you can see, as long as I have Viper energy, I'm actually trading quite well. Actually, very well. I'm basically trading for free. No, it's being a bit annoying. I'm actually have basically this cold base is up and operational right now. That's why I'm set up here, so he can't just run up here and kill it. I think if we would have actually known after cold, he would have probably done that lip push here, and then I would have had to move this lurker probably here, and then he would have gotten this base. But I also have this base now as well, so I'm getting some space on the map. The question is, can I hold on to that space? Always, my opponent has also bases on 6 bases. I would imagine there's a base here as well, with 1 turret. But yeah, just good annoyance here everywhere. I'm not really losing workers, but like I said, it's just having to pay attention to everything is already quite hard. 7 drones there. This is a very low amount of units. I don't think this is gonna be good enough to kill the base, but we'll see. Actually, yeah, with no target fire. I think if you were a target fire well with the planetary, maybe it's not good enough, but he didn't really micro there. Losing a Viper to the Widowman. Again, it's just a very unstandard game for the most part. Usually these games don't go exactly like this. You kinda want to have Raptors when there's 14 lips. Because if you make any coasts here, he could just EMP or snipe my Vipers and it would be big trouble for me. But yeah, I'm going for the Spire now. But it's a hard position. The game has been hard ever since I just couldn't get that 5th base up ever. I'm very gas rich here. Probably should be making more Vipers as well, knowing the lip count. With the Infestor, I see he's very lip focused there, so always at this point you kind of think there might be an opportunity to launch under him. I actually don't have launch yet, that's a bit of a mistake. But yeah, maybe if when he comes here, he doesn't have a scan or something before him or a Marine running before, I can launch or push with the Hydras under. But yeah, that doesn't happen here. And yeah, he kind of just pushes through me. I'm making 4 more lips because I realize that's probably what I need here. And yeah, we have been. He's again like he has only technically this base, right? Like most of this is mined out, so he's basically very heavily reliant on this one base. Obviously, it's pretty easy for him to get this corner here with this CC or this one as well. Well, maybe this one is the easiest. I think this one is a bit out of the way at this point, but even this one technically at this point is quite good base because it lets him push these 2 locations, which are my best bases. So, but yeah, always just trying to be a little bit annoying here, having some single lurkers a little bit everywhere. Getting any time is just really good, especially when we are playing a comp like Hydra Viper against Lip, because every second I'm getting more energy, so I'm just getting free trades with my main army. So even if I sack one lurker for free somewhere, like my Vipers have good chances to get some free picks elsewhere. Always just retaking the bases instantly. Obviously at this point it's pretty obvious he's coming here. And this is something that I can't give up for free, so... And I have high Viper count right now, so... Going for a Parabomb there. It's reasonable, I think. Maybe Abstract would have been better, but... No, that's bad. Okay, we got it. A little bit sloppy there. And again, just pushing the middle gets my base down. It's a hard position, just because the game is so hectic, right? That's what makes it so hard. Like, I really want to defend these two bases. Like, that's like my #1 priority, so it makes sense to have everything here, but then just this tiny army kills actually all these bases. And that cancels, so that's very, very bad for me. Going for +1 missile here, so there's obviously the idea of going into Corruptors eventually, but looking at the monies, like how realistic is that is a good question. How realistic is that option? Again, going for one Parabomb here. Losing those drones is really bad. He again got me off guard a little bit there, to be honest. You can tell I wasn't expecting him to push, but obviously it makes sense. Getting these armies a quite small victory, but at this point you obviously can see that the Parabombs actually did quite well. Just spamming the one Parabomb consistently, now they're pretty weak. Like, now I'll put one more Parabomb and he's actually gonna lose 2 lips. And some medibacks as well, so it's very good trading here. Again, just being annoying here. Now it's getting expensive to lose any units, to be honest, but at the same time we are denying a lot of mining here. At this point I would lie if I said I thought there was a lot of hope, but at the same time, from what I know, he's actually kind of broke, right? He has this base, is basically mined out this base. I don't know if he has this one. So, in a world where he doesn't have this one, for example, it's as long as I get this base up and just retake this one instantly, it does seem very doable. But obviously, since he has this one, it does look still pretty hard for sure. But yeah, his army comp just kind of loses to like Corruptors pretty much. Like if I would have played Ultra Corruptor, it would have been so strong. But since I'm in high trust, his army comp isn't the greatest, but it's a bit better. If I was just playing Ultra Corruptor, I could quite easily, but then he would probably play a little bit different on the comp as well. Always just being a little bit annoying with the lurker on the other side. If you get any damage with it, that's always a positive. Obviously at this point I'm probably looking for damage as well, since I don't just want to lose the unit, but yeah, that's a good trade there. He has 2 lips there. No base here. And yeah, we get this base mining here. And I already took this base, which is very important. So it's good stuff here. Setting up a little Rambai on the left base since it's an orbital, and getting some vision. I have been lacking vision, I think. In this specific series at least, it's been a bit of a lack of vision. A really good fight there. Okay, I would like to see... I'm thinking I'm gonna send one lurker here and probably everything else in the main here. Yeah, that's good. Still denying this base, checking if there's a lip on the... Still the same lips at the bottom. I'm actually going a lot of Parabombs here. I mean, killing 2 lips with 1 is quite good, so it's fine. But it's not confirmed kills always. Yeah, this one for example should have been an abduct. Or even this one kills 1, it's just that I feel like if I would have abducted here a little bit more, like I know I didn't abduct more there, but I guess I'm just like, the problem is that I'm watching a little bit everywhere. So I actually ended up going there anyways. Yeah, now I go for the abducts because there's a lot of room here, especially if these lurkers are like here, like they would actually have this whole area secured. So actually, just like sending like maybe like 10 hydras here and leaving the rest here and the vipers here, I could actually quite nicely kill these units. But yeah, the lurker big miss micro there. I actually wanted to move them forward, but he instantly bounced on me, so that ended up going pretty poorly for me. And now I lost the army that was actually kind of keeping this army in check. So now he actually just pushes this base, and I need to give it up. But we have this base again. The egos are basically non-existent, so it's an interesting game for sure. I should be instantly looking at retaking this one though, just in case something similar happens. I have always at least something working. You know, I don't want this to be my only mining location. But I'm actually making links here. So my idea is here to kind of all in on this base, because I know this is only maining base, and my army is actually quite decent here against his army. So instead of investing resources into making this base, I kind of just decided to take this one down. That's reasonable as well, I suppose, since I'm kind of covering this base with my army. Should have some vision here if I'm doing this though, for sure. So I don't get like, he doesn't run through here with like 8 marines or something and kill my whole only mining base. This time I have a little bit of press split. I probably saw this army here, so I will choose the right amount of units, and I get a good trade on the right side. Should target for the medivacs for sure, but we'll see if we are watching. No. And yeah, just getting all the lifts down there. Like, his army just doesn't really beat mine. Like I said, the only time when his army beats mine is when he has so many lifts that I actually just run out of abducts. But as long as I can abduct the lifts for free, it's very good. And when I'm on offensive, it's also very good, because even if I run out of energy, he's not instantly gonna kill my base. Because if I run out of energy here, then he's instantly gonna kill this base. But if I run out of energy here, I can just pull back a little bit, and I have no losses. But yeah, at this point, seeing an opportunity to push here, if I want to be safe, I should have probably put the lurkers like here on a concave just to block anything coming from this side. But yeah, that's the game. Yeah, just losing the 5th base multiple times made this game very hard. I think this game had a lot of the same things as the second game. Like, a lot of things went very well for me in this game, and I got in a good position. But just not getting the 5th base this time was just what gave him a very good position, a very winning position. But yeah, just not making any coast kind of made it very hard for him to actually finish the game. He also only killed bases, but I was also kind of killing bases with my counter attacks, so the trading was decent for me all the time, or quite good for me. Like, he traded positively in this game still, so that's good to keep in mind. But yeah, that's the series against Kerr. This is the semi-finals match, and this granted me a spot in the finals.